Hey, well, this is Dr. Glenn Livingston of RocketClicks.com, and I'm here with Rob Soretsky, the Director of Paid Search Management. How are you, Rob?
Glenn, I'm doing great today. It's a wonderful September afternoon.
You actually sound like you're doing great. You don't sound like you're BSing me.
Hard to fake it sometimes. So,
We're sitting here looking at Excel because you actually have an interesting background and are quite facile with Excel and databases and things like that. And you've got some simple tools and tricks that people can use in Excel with their AdWords account. And I thought that since not very many people are doing those things, it would be interesting for you to go through them. I'll let you walk through it.
great. So, as Glenn said, my background is in database analysis. I've done some database administration type work before working here, but a lot of actual work with manipulating data for business reasons, working with a team of database analysts in the mortgage industry and in the advertising industry in the 90s. And I figured out that in order to make ends meet, you have to get very fast with Excel and with some other products like SQL queries and things like that. What I'd like to do today is go over a couple basic formulas that are very useful in conjunction with AdWords Editor and editing AdWords campaign data that I think everyone should know about, and a lot of people don't know these particular functions. If this is exciting for people, and I am not exactly certain that people share in my nerdy enthusiasm for this stuff, I would be able to go on with a second and third part. So give Glenn feedback if you'd like to hear more. I would go on into filtering and format painting and sorting and things like that.
Oh, they definitely will. I've got an audience full of geeks. So go ahead.
Okay. So today we're going to work with the concatenate function, changing case, and lookup tables. Those three things. And to start with, concatenate is a great function in Excel that is like addition for words. It's addition for text strings. It allows you to put several fields of text or words that you input into the main line of Excel together in one long cell. And there are many different ways that you can use this, and I'll show you two of them today. I have a hypothetical long tail sort of build out here that I have on screen that Glenn can see. What I have here, and I just made this up off the top of my head a few moments ago, is a list of neighborhoods in Chicago and a list of words related to gardening clubs or gardening classes. And theoretically, let's pretend there's a product that would be good to market based on these types of keywords. Well, if you wanted to quickly create all the permutations of these neighborhoods with these stems of keywords like garden club, garden class, gardening class, and so on, concatenate is a great way to do this. And to put this all together for me, if I had the data already typed up, the stems would probably take me less than 30 seconds knowing concatenate well. So to do this particular exercise, and I'm going to make sure that everyone who wants it will actually get a copy of the workbook that Glenn and I are looking at, which I believe is also being video recorded, so that if you want to, you can look at the video recording as well, but you'll get this actual sample workbook with the actual formulas in it. So if you want to learn how to do it, great. If you want to just plug stuff in it and you have this exact same need, you can even do that. So I have a list of neighborhoods in one column and a bunch of stems across the top, like garden club, gardening class, gardening, or urban gardening, gardening advice. And wouldn't it be great if we could have every permutation of the neighborhood followed by the stem in order to build out these keywords? I'm using the concatenate function. up at least once. And then you open parentheses and you put in what you want to add together. But instead of using a plus sign, use the ampersand, the kind of symbol that means the word and.
By the way, everybody should be looking at the function bar at the very top of the screen.
Yeah. So what this is saying here is concatenate cell A2 and a space and cell B1. I'm actually going to switch this just to make it a little simpler and take out the dollar signs, and I'll tell you in a moment why those are there. But so what this is saying is add together the contents of A2 and a single space and B1. So it's putting the word Ravenswood with Garden Club with a space between Ravenswood and Garden Club, because that's how we would want it to read. If I didn't have that space there, it would put the D from Ravenswood and the G from Garden right together. So using concatenate, we can put this together, and it works quite well. Once I have that done, I could then copy the formula all the way down the page, and it would fill in all the necessary information. Now, it just made a whole bunch of mess because I'm concatenating things that are already concatenated. But the idea is you do the hard work one time, and then you're fine.
So, Rob, just so I can absolutely be clear on that, when you drag it down the page, it's going to change the cell references so that, for example, if you dragged it one cell down, it would be concatenating East Village with Garden Club?
Yeah. Now, here's the next thing I want to get into, which is if you want to drag and drop it, you have to do one more thing. There's such a thing as an absolute cell reference and a relative cell reference. And a lot of times, Excel is trying to be smart, and when you move something and you copy it, it moves the reference over with it. And in this case, what we want is, we always want it to be looking in that A column where Ravenswood, East Village, and Lincoln Park is. So if I move it from this formula from cell B2 over to C2, I still want it to be referencing A. So the way to symbolize that is to put a dollar sign, which is called the string symbol, in front of A if you wanted to copy it. And then similarly, I always want it to be looking at the top row. So if I'm going to copy things down, I want, when I go from B1 to B2, I still want it to be looking at, when I go from B2 to B3, I still want it to be looking at Garden Club. I don't want it to try to use exactly what's immediately above it, because it'll start putting concatenations upon concatenations. So I am putting a dollar sign in front of the 1, so that it'll always look at this top row, which is 1.
Got it. And so then now you can do the drag and drop across.
So now I can copy it down, and it won't give me anything funny.
Got it.
And I could also copy it this way.
And then you could drag that whole row down as well, right?
And I'll kind of prove it by clearing out past work.
Oh, so this is how it would start. Got it. And then
so you would do this 1 right here, and then you could copy it over this way, and it works automatically. And you can copy it down, and it works automatically. And you could build it out.
Got it.
So when I say 30 seconds, if you see me clicking there, once you got it, once you learn that syntax, it's very powerful.
And then how would you get this into AdWords?
Well,